Well, good morning. It's Tom Cruise here. I'm here in San Diego working on my new Top Gun film, and my friend Ed has asked me to because he's working on some stupid case he's working on, or so he says, to stand in his place today and do the podcast. So I said, well, I've already done my scenes, on the plane, so why not, right? So here I am. It's me, Tom Cruise. Ha! I fooled you. It's actually Ed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, hard to tell the difference, right? So, what I like about Tom Cruise is he's the only actor in Hollywood who's shorter than I am. And he's not even old, so he doesn't even have an excuse. What's it going to be like when he's my age? Tom, are you down there? Somebody referred to Tom Cruise as the fun-sized Tom Cruise. I never told him that. So, just briefly, I do really mean the system because I have to get back to work. If you're one of those people who voted for Donald Trump, and I kept telling you, do not put this man in office. Not the party, not the policies, the man. Because he's a nutbag. Totally unqualified to be president, running around claiming he had the greatest economy ever because of Barack Obama, to whom he never gives any credit, but that's just typical of him. But aside from that, he's a nutcase. And sure enough, you know that expression, the inmates are running the asylum. Oh boy, if we don't have that now. Anybody who would select Matt Gaetz, of course, he had a long, distinguished career, right? He went to law school. Then, about a year or so later, he became admitted to the bar. Again, he allegedly worked for some law firm for 2 years. We don't know what the firm was or what he did. That's mysteriously shrouded in mystery. And then he ran for the House of Representatives and got elected. Surprise, surprise. He got elected in a solid Republican district where all you have to do to be elected is to get the Republican nomination. His father was extremely wealthy and very influential in Republican circles. Basically said, I want my boy in there. So the Republican people said, oh, okay, show whatever you want, Mr. Gaetz. And he became a congressman. That's the extent of his legal career. And, other than being investigated for sex trafficking, and my understanding they were coming out with a scathing report in the House because they were investigating him in the Republican House of Representatives. That apparently has gone bye-bye. So this completely unqualified, inexperienced, wet behind the ears, little shit, pardon my language, is going to be the Attorney General of the United States. There's never been such controversy since Jack appointed Bobby Kennedy, but that caused a lot of heat. And it's one of the reasons that the presidents tried to distance themselves from their attorney general, as Biden has done appropriately. Not Trump. He's put this guy and all these Tulsi Gabbard in charge of our intelligence. This woman who's been a spokesman for Russia attacked the Ukraine government. Not literally, that was Russia. She attacked them figuratively over and over again, basically blaming them for all the problems that they have with Russia invading them. And here she is in charge of our national intelligence. Will be. It's unbelievable. And then this Pete Hegseth, a major in the National Guard, is going to be now head of all these generals. And you know what he said? He wants, they're going to do a purge and fire all the generals and admirals who were involved in implementing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I'm really against diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think it's bad for the military to be involved. I think it's bad for anybody to be involved in that. You don't promote people based on their race. You put them in positions based on their capabilities and abilities. And if there's no black people that fit that, you don't put any black people in there. If there's no Irishmen that fit that bill, which is often the case, you don't put any Irishmen in there. You don't go around putting people in because of some social, whatever. That's the thing that really hurt the Democrats, because most people think that's absurd. But you ever heard of the term throwing out the baby with the bathwater? Yeah, I'm a military brat. My father was a colonel. He was later the civilian equivalent of a brigadier general. I worked for the Air Force as a lawyer, as a patent lawyer, and I had the civilian equivalent rank of a major. Same rank this guy has. Only I got that rank basically right out of law school, my first job. So this guy is supposed to be in charge of all these, and he wants to fire them all because of that. And this is what I get mad about you people who vote Republicans anyway. You get wrapped up in these social issues, which I agree with you 100%. I agree with you on crime. I agree with you on affirmative action. I agree with you on, what's happening to our inner cities. I agree with you on all this sort of thing. But I don't let it cloud my judgment. I don't vote Republican because of those issues. I'm with them on those issues. Most Democrats I know are with them on those issues. Most Democrats I know think affirmative action is an abomination because it's reverse discrimination, and any kind of discrimination is bad. Just because it's reverse doesn't make it okay. It's not okay. But the answer to that isn't to take all these people. It's not easy to become a 4-star general or admiral. It's very difficult, and the people who get there are the cream of the crop. Vast experience, all kinds of knowledge about extensive, and he's always complaining about the bureaucracy. The Pentagon is the biggest bureaucracy in the world. It also presides over the most effective fighting force ever known on this planet. And that's to a large extent because of these generals and admirals that this character wants to fire. Who's going to replace him with? A bunch of majors like himself, whose sole qualification is that they played, they're making obeisance to Donald Trump. It's atrocious. And here you go. You people voted for Donald Trump, and I'm trying to tell you, it's not about the social issues. It's about competence. It's about the economic issue. He's going to ruin our economy. I talked once before about the Smoot-Hawley tariff, which was an abomination, and he wants to do the same thing all over again. These people don't learn from history because, in the first place, he's not interested in history, and most Republicans aren't interested in history either, and they don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about economics. But if you do, you recognize what he's doing is Smoot-Hawley all over again, and that was a worldwide disaster. Many people believe that was actually ultimately responsible for World War II because it dragged the whole world into our depression, which could have been short and easily taken care of, but it wasn't because of the Smoot-Hawley tariff, which was passed with this blind America First notion, which went right along with the America First movement to keep us out of World War II altogether. All of that blindness, which is what he's come forward on, you people voted for him because of that nonsense, and now you got a guy who's going to impose massive tariffs. They're now talking about the efficiency in government run by the formerly sane Elon Musk and that torpid little Indian guy, I forget his name, Ramaswamy or some damn thing. And they're going to be in charge. You know what they're going to do? They're going to start trying to cut federal spending wherever they can in order to offset the huge tax cuts once again that Republicans are putting into effect. But the main thing is he's got the inmates running the asylum, and we're going to pay the price. So you people out there, Craig, you supported Donald Trump. Oh, these Democrats are awful. Oh, the bureaucracy. Oh, we got to drain the swamp. Yeah. And this is what you get. Is this the government you envisioned? Matt Gaetz is the Attorney General of the United States. Chelsea Gabbard in charge of our national security. Pete Hegseth in charge of the Pentagon. And Kristi Noem in charge of shooting puppies. I mean, this is the government. When you elect a president, you don't just elect the president. You elect his cabinet. You elect his advisors. You elect all the people that he carries with him. And the last time he went and solid people because he didn't know better. And those people were capable of and did, in fact, push back on him when he got so close to the line, crossed over that line. They said, no, we're not going to do it. And he was furious. So that's not going to happen this time. I'm going to go get Matt Gaetz in there. He'll do whatever I tell him to do. Now, those of you who are lawyers, Craig, look at what you have wrought under the guise of I don't know what, being against political correctness. So keep that in mind. We're going to keep an eye on this administration. You're going to hear from us. I have issues with the Democrats, and I'll talk about those a lot. But right now, it's like this is actually like a cartoon show. And when I say that, I mean no disrespect to Beavis and Butthead, who would actually do a much better job than most of his cabinet picks. So on that note, I just have to say that's what Beavis and Butthead say, and I agree with them. I think they're right, and certainly that's an appropriate reaction to the latest Donald Trump appointees.